review for your exam. I'm going to keep notes here. You can copy these notes into your folder and then use them on the test. So we're going to start with which color mode does a computer use and which does a printer use. So if you look online, a good rule of thumb here is anything dealing with the web should always be in RGB, red, green, and blue color mode, and printed materials should be in CMYK. So we're saying this right here. Okay, I'm going to paste that in there, which really means that a monitor uses RGB and a printer, for the most part, uses CMYK. All right. Number 2. What is the direct selection tool in Adobe Illustrator? Let's take a look. If you create a shape in Adobe Illustrator, and I zoom in, you'll notice that there are anchor points in the corners. The direct selection tool is right here, the white arrow. Click away, click on it individually. You can move the point individually. So, the direct selection tool allows you to move individual points. So, direct selection tool allows you to move individual points. Excellent. Number 3. You can change the width and length of an artboard after you create it. So here, for example, this artboard is 11 by 17, but if I want to change it, I can go to Document Setup. Right here where it says Edit Artboard, I can click, and now I can change the size, or right here, the orientation of it. So yes, that can be changed. So we're saying here that you can change the width and length of an artboard at any time. Okay. Number 4, the swatches panel is on the left side of Adobe Illustrator. So if we look at the swatches panel is over here. This is the right side of your page. So that would be false. We want to say that the swatches panel and most other panels except for the toolbar are located on the right side of the screen by default. Okay, there we go, sorry. Alright, next. What does the live paint allow you to do? Well, the live paint bucket, if you went here and you drew something like this, all right, by selecting it, turning it into a live paint group, you could now use, you have to expand it first generally like this, right? Expand the appearance and then do your live paint make. What that allows you to do is use that live paint bucket and then choose your colors and simply fill in as you go, right? So the live paint bucket allows you to fill specific areas with different colors, no matter how you draw them, no matter how they were drawn, like if you use the brush or the blob or the pen, any of those tools is fine. Which of these is possible? So one of the questions on the test is, can you make a vector image into a raster image or a raster into a vector? So we're going to say that using Illustrator, you can convert vector images to raster. So what that means is here in Illustrator, if I want to change this, even though it's points right now that can be manipulated, these are all vector, right? With the anchor points and the line segments in between, it's nice and smooth. Remember, no matter how big we make it or how small we make it, it's independent of the resolution. It keeps it a perfect resolution. It doesn't get blurry at all. If I want to make this into a raster image, like a pixelized image similar to what we've been using in Photoshop, you can take this, copy this, and bring it into Photoshop. And when you get into Photoshop, create a new file and then paste this. So basically you're creating a raster image, one that has pixels, out of one that originally was not, that was vector. So you can go from Illustrator, you can use Illustrator, you can convert vector images to raster. Okay, next one on here. If I'm in Illustrator like this, the fundamental transformation tools here, if you look on the side, you will see scale, you will see rotate, you will see reflect, but there's not many more than that here, right? Check and see that these are the ones that you're going to want. So move, rotate, reflect, right? Scale, shear, those are all in the fundamental transformation tools included in Illustrator. So I'm going to take a little snapshot of this, and I'm just going to pull that into my Word document so you can see it should be. Right? Those are the fundamental ones for Illustrator. So I'm going to say the transformation tools that come with Illustrator show the following, right? Looking good so far. Okay, we're going to continue to go down here. What is the area bounded by a solid line in which you create your artwork? So if I'm an Illustrator like this entire board, this white board that you see here around the edge, that's our artboard. So remember that the artboard is the area bounded by solid line, a solid line in which you create your artwork. Okay, next one. RGB stands for red, green, blue. Alright, RGB, red, green, and blue. Okay, that's looking good so far. Red, green, and blue. Those are the colors that you use on your monitor. All those are the three colors that combine to make all the other colors that you see on your monitor. Illustrator creates resolution independent images. So, Illustrator creates resolution independent images. That means that when I'm on here, no matter how big I make it, and we zoom in, nice and crystal clear. If I make it really, really, really small, like this, tiny, 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 and you zoom in on it, it looks just as crystal clear. Independent of resolution, it never gets blurry, it never loses resolution of any kind, ever. That's one of the reasons that we use it. Okay, onward and forward we move. We say, what is persuasion? So we had talked about this in class. If we go into some of your notes, we know that persuasion, right, is a means of convincing someone to do something or buy something. Okay. Screen resolution and print resolution are the same thing. That is false. So we want to say that screen and print resolution are different. All right. So if you did screen resolution versus print, you'll see that screen resolution is measured in pixels per inch and print resolution is measured in dots per inch. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to put all this up on the screen at the end of the video so you can see everything all at once. The preferred print resolution is 300. So, the preferred print resolution is 300. This is if you're creating something that's going to be about 8.5 by 11, usually like a magazine that's going to be about, a foot or so away from your face as you read it. 300 is the best resolution for that. If you're creating something for the the web or internet or phone, generally 72 dots per inch is acceptable. Okay. Photoshop is a program that manipulates images by allowing you to make adjustments to colors, brightness or contrast, changes in resolution, crop and resize, or modify its content, such as removing imperfections. We know that that is true. And which of the following terms defines the word raster? So if we look up raster now, I'm going to look up that up quickly. Raster. When you go to raster, rectangular pattern of parallel scanning lines followed by the electronic beam of television. What the heck does that mean? Okay, we're going to say, for our purposes, that a grid of X and Y coordinates on a display space. So if we look up raster images, right, you can see here, raster is a dot matrix structure. All right. Okay, so it's that pattern of dots that you see when you zoom in. Sorry here, guys, this should be fine in a second. There we go, times new. Okay, it's not coming up. All right, no big deal. So if you look at it, we'll see some images here. This is an example of when you zoom in on a raster image, you're seeing that pattern of dots, and it's in this X and Y kind of pattern where there's ones that go from left to right and there's ones that go from north to south, up and down, right? So that's what really raster is, made up of those pixels in that particular pattern. Which of the below is not in design principles? So we know that our design principles, they've been hanging up on the wall over here, right? Design principles. Hold on a moment. They include emphasis, I'm talking here, balance, proportion, alignment, color, alignment, and color.